My next guest joined Arizona Governor Doug Ducey at the southern border last week to see the crisis firsthand. Joining me right now is Florida Senator Rick Scott. Senator, thanks very much for joining us. Tell us what you saw at the border.
Well, we saw a crisis that Joe Biden created. I took an aerial tour with Governor Ducey. We went along the border, and what you saw is we saw all this technology that we've paid for, American taxpayers have paid for, that the Biden administration says, oh, we're not going to use it, we're not going to turn it on. We saw a border wall that the only thing left was to put up some gates, and they won't put up the gates, so they're just gaping holes in the border. Where we did our press conference in the town of Douglas, they had to provide extra security because people were just climbing the wall. We talked to Border Patrol. They've had to shut down checkpoints in Arizona. So this is a crisis that Joe Biden created. He ought to get down there as quickly as he can, and he ought to see what he's done and see what he can do to fix it. We need to secure the border.
Senator,
we need to do it humanely.
Is there going to be any accountability for putting politics ahead of the American people's welfare? I mean, let's face it. When is this nonsense going to stop? You've got the Biden administration coming in. The first thing they do is overturn all of the rules that Trump put in place because they hate Trump. Instead of understanding what issues we are actually dealing with in terms of the surge at the border, just overturn everything because it's Trump. You've got Nancy Pelosi sitting there a couple of years ago at the State of the Union, ripping up Trump's speech. I mean, all the games, wear white, wear black, don't show up to the inauguration. Will there be any accountability for playing all of these ridiculous games instead of actually putting the people's business first as a priority?
I hope so. I've been up here 2 years. I just became the chairman of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, and I think the American public are fed up with this. They want a secure border. They want our schools open. They don't want tax increases. They want us to support law enforcement. The Democrats are on the opposite side of all those issues. I think in the 22 election, people are going to have a lot of buyer's remorse. Joe Biden didn't, come to town and say, hey, I'm going to open your borders. I'm going to close your schools. This is not what he promised. And so I think there's going to be a lot of buyer's remorse. People are getting fed up with what the Democrats are doing. This place is dysfunctional. I've been up here 2 years. It's all about politics. But I'm going to make sure this is about solving problems. I'm going to make sure I help Republican senators get elected where we solve the problems of this country. We need a better economy. We don't need $30 trillion worth of debt. We don't need a Federal Reserve buying up all of our treasuries. We've got to act responsibly like I did as governor. I paid down a third of state debt as governor. We cut taxes 100 times. We added 1.7 million jobs. We improved our schools. That's what Americans want, and that's what Republicans are going to stand for, and that's why we're going to have a great 22.
So is that what we need to look forward to? Is there anything that the Republicans can do at this point? I mean, right now the fight is at the doorstep of the AGs, and you've got state governors and state attorneys general fighting back on this radical agenda. That's all you can do, right? You're in the minority.
Well, so what we're going to do is, clearly attorney generals around the country are starting to file lawsuits. I ask everybody that comes in front of me that wants me to vote to confirm them, are you going to enforce the law? I've asked the general accounting officer, along with some other senators, is the Biden administration enforcing the immigration laws in this country? They're not. I mean, we allocate all this dollars for border security, and they're not spending the dollars. They're shutting down things we paid for. This makes no sense. So I think if the American public understands it and gets riled up, the right thing will happen.
Let me bring in our panel here. Rob Luna, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, what's going on, Marie? Like you said, it's hard to look at this anything other than a personal vendetta. We heard from, Gila Bend mayor earlier. They're saying they don't even have bathrooms available, and what the ranchers are facing is a 35% increase in the cost of doing business. Let's remember, a lot of our agriculture is coming from those places. So we talk about the unintended consequences, inflation, taxation. Obviously this is a human crisis, but what we're doing to our economy through this, I don't think we've seen the beginning of that yet.
We're a country that likes immigration.
This is a good point on the economy, Senator. Yeah, because, I mean, we're talking this morning about potential tax increases. What can you tell us in terms of the next package? The Journal reporting a $3 trillion infrastructure package. And I've been saying for a long time we're going to see higher taxes.
On immigration, we need to have legal immigration. We want it. On taxes, this so-called, COVID bill, which was just a liberal payback bill, it'll take our debt now to $30 trillion. That means about with just interest rates where they are, about 1 out of every $7 of revenues we're going to collect this year, we're going to pay out in interest expense. I mean, inflation is going up, and it's caused by a federal government and a Federal Reserve that doesn't understand how reality works. You can't go just spend money, spend money, spend money. They're talking about now another $3 trillion that they want to spend, and they're talking about increasing all sorts of taxes. They want to increase gas taxes, taxes on electric cars, estate taxes, income taxes. I mean, where does this end? I mean, do we just all work for government? I mean, I'm sick and tired of these tax increases. I cut taxes as a governor 100 times, and our economy prospered. My revenues grew. That's what we ought to be doing. Cut taxes, reduce regulation, make it easier to get a permit. That's the opposite of what the Biden administration and the Democrats are doing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned all those additional taxes, because when we talk about raising taxes, a lot of people like to throw out this idea, tax the rich. We know that that is just one of the taxes that we're going to see. We're going to be taxing middle class, $200,000 at least in income. We're also going to be seeing all these other ancillary things like the gas tax and other things making your life more expensive. That's why you've got this New York exodus, and they're all coming to your state, Florida or Texas. Now we've got JetBlue considering moving New York City jobs to Florida once its Long Island City lease expires. That expires July 2023. The airline already has a training center in Orlando, travel product subsidiary in Fort Lauderdale. A spokesman for JetBlue says the decision is expected by the end of the year. Senator, what do you want to say to JetBlue, and what are you seeing on a corporate level in terms of businesses taking their revenue out of New York and over to the Sunshine State?
So I called on Robin Hayes, the CEO of JetBlue, constantly about move to Florida. I mean, Cuomo and de Blasio are not going to let you prosper. Tax increases, that's all they do up there. Make it harder to do business up there. They do it all the time. Plus we're a welcoming state. I cut taxes. I reduced regulation. We made it easy for people to move. That's what's continuing to happen in Florida, and that's why these companies are getting out of there. And people are. They're sick and tired. I mean, when are we going to say to government at every level, we're tired of you guys taking our money. It's our money. We're working our tails off for this money, and you guys want to take it all these different ways. Gas taxes, death taxes, income taxes, every tax in the world you want to take from us. And what's it do? It impacts the poorest families in this country that can't afford it. People on fixed income can't afford it. And the Democrats don't care about those people. They just want to take more and more of your dollars. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. Well, look, everybody knows in order to get your financial house in order, the first thing to do is to stop digging the hole, stop spending. And instead of hearing plans to stop spending, this morning we read about another economic plan, $3 trillion to put more money in education and more money in infrastructure. It's outrageous. And they have to spend.
You can't make this stuff up. So I asked Jay Powell, I asked Janet Yellen, how much debt can we have? Is it 40 trillion too much? 50 trillion too much? What percentage of our revenues are you willing to pay in interest expense? Look at what happens. Interest rates are going up. I mean, how much of our federal revenues are we going to pay in interest expense? How are we going to pay for Medicare, Medicaid?
Senator, that's all good questions. We'll be watching. Thanks very much for your leadership in Florida. We'll see you soon, Senator. Thank you.